Hey everybody, how are you? Everybody having a good Ignite? Whoop! Well, I've assembled some bright minds to talk about servicing and delivery, mainly focused on Windows. And let's introduce the panel. I've also scoured the web to find interesting facts on each one. They're all fake except for one, so we'll see which one of you can figure out which one's the right one. My name is Thomas Trombley. I'm with the Windows Servicing and Delivery team, and let's introduce our panel. Let's start with my colleague who I spend a lot of time with. John Wilcox, will you introduce yourself? Tell us what you focus on.
Welcome, John Wilcox, the WAS evangelist for the Windows Service and Delivery team. I work with customers like yourselves for the last 4 years on deploying Windows 10 and staying current with Windows 10 and Office 365.
The interesting fact I found about John was that his passport requires no photograph. Next up, David James. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hi, my name's David James. I'm Director of Engineering at Microsoft. I run two products. One is, until recently, called SCCM, Configuration Manager. Now Microsoft Endpoint Manager, Configuration Manager, MemCM. And the other is Desktop Analytics.
Great.
Thanks, John.
Yay! We haven't even gotten through introductions, and we're getting cheers. I love it. Interesting fact about David, if it'll show up here, when he drives a car off the lot, it actually increases in value. That's what kind of guy he is.
I wish.
Steve Diacetis, tell us about yourself.
Hi, I'm Steve Diacetis, Program Manager in the Windows Deployment team. Our team's focused on making it easier for Windows 10 to be deployed in commercial environments, making it smooth and seamless.
Thank you, Steve. Interesting fact about Steve is he tips an astonishing 100%. I like that guy. Classy. Michael Niehaus.
Mike Niehaus. I am a program manager on the Autopilot team, which is part of MEM.
Interesting fact about Michael, he's won the Lifetime Achievement Award twice. Steve Thomas, my pal this week in the booth.
Steve Thomas with the Customer Experience Engineering Group under Commercial Endpoint for Windows Unified Endpoint Management.
Steve, interesting fact about you is he drinks and knows things. I like that about him.
That's what I do.
You guys, don't let them guess, not you. Okay, next up, Narkis Engler.
Hi, I'm Narkis, Program Manager in the Edge Device Services team. Also working on delivery optimization, constantly thinking about bandwidth and how to solve any problem related to bandwidth.
You got to talk about 3
My interesting fact that I dug into her LinkedIn profile, I discovered that she once parallel parked a train. It's pretty impressive.
That's the true one, right?
That might. Next up, Zach.
Hey, Zach Dvorak, Program Manager on Microsoft Endpoint Manager team, specifically focusing on our analytics products.
Modestly plausible thing about you, on every continent there's a sandwich named after you. Next up, Dune.
Hi folks, Dune Desarmo, Program Manager, Microsoft Endpoint Manager. I focus on software updates, so using WSUS to deploy updates with Config Manager.
Thank you. Next up, Joe Lurie.
About his fun fact.
Oh, his fun fact. Sorry, he lives vicariously through himself. Got a grok on that one a little bit, right? Joe Lurie.
When you're ready.
Go for it.
Joe Lurie. I'm a product manager for Microsoft 365, so I focus on management and deployment of Windows, Office, Intune, and MemCM. I like that. I'm going to start using it now.
Right on. Joe's fact is he's fluent in all languages, including 3 that only he speaks.
And that one's true. That's the truth.
He used that at the booth this week. I know. I said something to him, and he said something back. I had no idea what it was. Last up, and this is new to the panel this year, we've invited a customer to join us. Nick, why don't you say a few words about yourself?
Hi, my name is Nick Sajka. I work at KeyBank. I'm the lead engineer on a team dedicated to end-user experience delivery, so the products that they build and maintain I use on a daily basis.
Interesting fact about Nick is that he was once sailing around the world and he discovered a shortcut, so that's pretty cool. We're going to start with Nick because I just wanted, before we kind of go towards your questions, I want to kind of go through why I included him. I was hoping you could kind of walk us through how many endpoints you have, where you're at, and how it's come along for you guys.
Yeah, absolutely. So our organization's around 30,000 endpoints in size. We recently just basically completed our entire Windows 10 upgrade. We started by using an in-place upgrade task sequence and went from 7 to 10. And now we're at the point where we've been servicing Windows since version 1703. We're on 1903 now, looking forward to 1909, and also getting ready to adapt some of the modern technologies such as Autopilot, management, Intune, and hybrid join between Azure AD and on-prem AD.
Thank you. I think it's really great to have him here today and the rest of the panel. We'll have them sing at the end because of the way they're sitting. I'm looking forward to that, as I'm sure you are too. So here's how the panel works. There's microphones all situated around. I encourage you, this is the time to ask questions that you may not have been able to ask at the booth or at the end of each of their sessions. Most of them have had sessions this week. So I encourage you to step to the mic and ask a question, and whoever has a good question gets a nice reward. If you haven't gone to the booth, these are well-coveted Ninja Cats. If the question's bad, I may throw it in a bad direction. Your first question. Can we turn the mics on?
Okay. All right, testing. So this question may seem familiar to some of you, and apologies for that. But in the Autopilot experience, when you hit the outer box, why is there no time zone selection option? I'm sorry, Michael, I know you've heard this 100 times already, but I'm sure there's a lot of people here that would applaud if you said today, announce and Ignite, a new experience in Ubi, time zone selection.
There used to be.
I know.
There used to be a computer name. There used to be lots of things, but they simplified Ubi and decided that that was not user-friendly to include all those questions, so.
We're going to unify time zones. We decided.
Right. So.
I was in marketing at the time. You can't blame me.
We don't blame you. So, but if the question is between choosing a second keyboard and the time zone, I would give up the second keyboard. I would, of course, choose time zone. Like, that seems like, come on, guys.
Yeah, so if you only knew how many meetings we've had around that second keyboard screen.
Probably more than the applause that we got, everybody here, you know.
Yeah, we actually have presented prototypes on how to eliminate the second keyboard screen with a checkbox that says, add a second keyboard, so that you don't need to get to a second screen on that one. So that one may happen. The time zone one, we're still having that debate.
All right, well, good luck solving that.
Ninja Cat coming at you. Whoop. Hand that off, please. It was a good question, so he gets it. We'll go to you, and then I saw you over there. So your question, right here in the front.
Hi, Wade Cool, Descartes Systems Group. We're looking at rolling out conditional access, but we keep having a problem with our Windows 10 clients where they'll not detect that, that there's an antivirus still installed on the machine. And so those customers, all those users get locked out that have had recent updates. What we're concerned with is that someday McAfee will put out an update and it's not detected as valid and all of our laptops get locked out. Is there a way to, best practices around preventing that sort of failure?
Anyone want to tackle that question? I'm a comms guy. Steve Thomas.
That sounds like a support case.
Okay.
That doesn't sound like expected behavior.
Oh, but it's not expected behavior, but it happens, right? Like just like MFA goes down for the afternoon, has a break. It's not expected behavior, but it still locks people out.
Right, which I would advise.
I'm just wondering about protecting ourselves from that.
Working through a support channel to try to investigate the root cause of that. And the root cause could be a number of things. It could be something that we've missed. It could be something to do with the AV. It could be a number of things. But that's not an experience that you should be having. So we need to get to the bottom of that. So.
Okay, thank you.
Here you go, coming at you. All right.
It's all right to clap.
Yeah.
You can give him a hand for that.
That's right.
Good job, Thomas.
2 tickets to the gun show. Oh yeah, we should do we were gonna do like a Ninja Cat cannon. I think that would be really good for next time. We're gonna go to the gentleman in the back, right over there.
That's okay, that's mine. Ben Hanford, work for Kingfisher. We're just in the process of rolling out Autopilot. We're testing hybrid join. But getting a firewall rule written that supports Autopilot, it's been really challenging for some reason. Do you have any plans to include those URLs in the API that you publish for the 365 endpoints?
We do, actually. We've been working on that one for a number of months. We expect to publish all of the details for Intune, for Autopilot, and then eventually work our way through all the other services like delivery optimization, Windows Update, Windows Activation, and all the other things that we're dependent on. The goal is for that current Office 365 IP REST system to be a Microsoft 365 system so that you can get the IPs for all of the Microsoft services. There's a few complications for doing that, which has slowed things down. The goal overall is to have a limited number of IP addresses, and right now we have a huge number of IP addresses, so we're actually working on reducing the number of IPs so that we can publish a better list.
Brilliant. Thank you.
I don't know if I can get it that far. You may want to come up if you... Well, I'll give it a shot. Here we go. Oh. Liability guys are like, maybe Trombley shouldn't throw. We'll work over here, then we're going to work over here, and then I'm going to get you next. How's that? Got it?
Got it. So,
what's your name?
My name's Heath Anthony. I work with a midstream pipeline company called One Oak. I'm attempting to get Autopilot going in our environment to replace traditional SCCM imaging. I'm specifically having trouble with S-mode, and so mainly we use AnyConnect VPN. We use AnyConnect for our always-on VPN for our environment. And my question is there going to be an option at any point to add in a Windows AnyConnect profile through Intune?
I think that the initial challenge was that Cisco didn't have a UWP-based AnyConnect client so that we could push out an AnyConnect profile.
They do now.
So yeah, so now we need to go back to Intune and add that to the list. So
okay.
It shouldn't be hard. I mean, we've had the basic structure in place to do that, so just need to add it to the UI.
Okay, so at some point, probably?
Did you hear that? At some point, probably.
At some point, probably.
Okay, good enough for me.
Coming at you. There it is. Oh, I got close. Next up, sir.
All right.
What's your name?
Aaron Ward, University of Delaware. Kind of just want to talk about just 2 hurdles, preventing us from going full-fledged into Intune, which we really want to do. First being third-party patch support. Right now, we use a third-party provider that provides those cabs for us that we import into SCCM.
Who is it?
Can I say it?
Yeah.
Patch My PC. Okay. So fantastic. They do a great job and very efficient with distributing these patches. So really trying to, and to preface this, we use to manage our Macs another third-party product which does all this, okay? So we're essentially looking at that and trying to incorporate the third-party patching. So I know you've introduced some features with this, but I'm trying to get some understanding as to what's holding the team back from incorporating this into Intune, because this would be a perfect solution for our on and off-prem machines, and just trying to understand some hurdles behind that.
Someone want to take a crack at that?
You said you had 2 issues. What's the second?
Autopilot. Autopilot. And can I just chime in on that one real quick? Customization with Autopilot. Actually, piggybacking off the first presenter, we like to do, so we have task sequences, but we do customizations to those task sequences. I'd rather not have 100 different task sequences. I'd rather have, a handful that, our techs like to do minor customizations, whether it be a machine name, an admin name, joining it to a device collection, joining it to an OU, a language pack. These sort of minor things are critical for our techs that are all across the state of Delaware trying to put these minor touches on an autopilot image, which we do. There's SCCM web services out there now which do that third party, but just trying to see if that's in the plans at all as well.
There's some discussion amongst the panel.
Certainly from a conceptual standpoint, that's something we'd like to be able to provide as far as the flexibility to do those sorts of things.
Sure.
What that might end up looking like hasn't really been settled on. I mean, if you're currently doing that in a config manager task sequence, then hey, we've got a great plan to integrate config manager task sequences into the autopilot process so that you could continue to use that. If that involves user interaction to ask for that sort of thing, that gets a little bit more interesting, but still should be doable. We just need to validate that you can actually display a UI during this process, but we'll check that.
All right.
Thank you.
Here you go. I have just a few left.
And the first one, third-party patching, we understand the necessity, we understand the requirement. Your question was, why haven't we just done it? Well, it's not simple. Third-party patching, config man is based on a technology that's been there for 20 years, publishing patching to WSUS, so that works well. We don't have a way for third parties yet to publish patches up to Windows Update, which is what Intune uses as their patch engine. We at Microsoft had to work that strategically across many places, but it's on our radar.
Thank you. So we'll go here.
Dune says yep.
What he said.
Go ahead and grab the mic, actually. Would you use the mic because we're recording? What was that?
Yep.
Oh, okay, yeah. Next up, this gentleman, and then I see a gentleman way in the back. We'll do that next. Sir?
Okay, yeah, my name is CK. I'm Get Modern FTA. So my question is pertaining to desktop analytics. Now, in the manual, right, it says that devices enrolled in DA may only be used by licensed user of Windows 10 Enterprise E3 or E5. And also it mentions that if it's in the European country, we will not send out Windows diagnostic data from Windows 8.1, and we will not send out apps usage data for Windows 7. So which means that I can deduce from there that if I'm outside of the European region, I will be able to receive these two pieces of information, right? So my question is, if I have only Windows 8.1 and Windows 7 devices, no Windows 10 devices, and I want to leverage a DA to gather the two pieces of information that I just mentioned, do I need Windows 10 Enterprise E3 license?
Yeah, it's a good question. So in terms of desktop analytics license requirement, you're able to enroll your Windows 7 and Windows 8.1 devices into the tool. And then when you can use the tool, obviously, to migrate those to Windows 10. And then at that point, those devices will need to be Windows 10 Enterprise with a Windows E3 or higher subscription in order to benefit from the product.
Okay.
So we'll definitely clarify those docs. That's a good call out.
Okay, so which means that until that point, right, I would not need any license, right? Windows 10 Enterprise E3 or E5 license, right? Just to gather those two pieces of information from Windows 7 or Windows 8.1.
Well, yeah, so the Windows 10 Enterprise E3 obviously is tied to Windows 10. So for the Windows 7 and Windows 8.1 devices, you can enroll them to get you to Windows 10. And then at that point, that's when the license requirement is going to kick in.
Okay, got it.
So we'll update those docs. Thanks for pointing that out.
Yeah, just another question, follow-up from this question. So what about if it's a Windows 10 Pro edition? Will I be able to gather anything out from those devices without any license?
So it's an interesting question. So the way the license requirement is written for desktop analytics, and you can follow up with your specific account team if you have more detailed questions about licensing, but the way the requirement is written is you need a sufficient number of Windows 10 Enterprise E3 or higher licenses to account for all of the devices that are being enrolled in desktop analytics. So in theory, if a user has a Windows 10 Pro device, but that user is licensed for Windows 10 Enterprise E3, you could enroll that Pro device.
Yes.
But you do need the Enterprise E3 license in order to use the service.
I see. Okay, thank you.
Here you go, coming at you. Oh, All right, gentleman in the back, then we're going to go over to you, and then over to you. I promise. We'll get you. Sir?
Hi, Wilson Fong CalPERS. We have a small group of users that are still on Windows 7, Office 2010. We've been trying to get them off for the last 2, maybe longer years. They have a process in Excel that doesn't work well in Office Pro Plus or Excel Pro Plus. But this last summer, we found a sweet spot in Pro Plus, 1808 August release that works well for them. They didn't complain about any issues. And then September patches came along and introduced a bug for them, and October came by and introduced another bug for them. I attended John Wilcox's earlier session. He mentioned a service called App Assurance. I'm wondering if this is appropriate for this type of problem.
Yes, please do. Call immediately, Fast Track, and they would love to take your call and work on it.
Thank you.
I'll let you.
Office, websites, apps. If we break it, we'll fix it.
Thank you.
I'll ask you to come up and grab yours, because I don't want to hit that guy in the face again. Sorry, man. I owe you a beer after this. We cool? We'll just go to the hub, and there's plenty of beer there. Next up is you, and then you, sir. Okay?
Hello, my name is Dmitry. I work for the company named Space as Choice. And we have hundreds of Macs. Number one request for us is to have sign-on for Macs using Azure Active Directory. Do you have any plans for it? Because right now we have local accounts, and we want to sign on to Macs using Azure Active Directory accounts.
I don't work on Mac.
Anyone want to take a crack? Hotly debated.
You talking about local authentication for Macs?
Yes, I want to sign in to Macs using Azure Active Directory account instead of local account.
Yeah, that's going to require cooperation from a certain other company. I don't know of any plans at this point, but I could probably reach out to the Azure AD folks and see if there's any plans. But again, that would require some serious work from that other company as well. So.
Okay, thank you.
You can do it with Jamf? Oh, excellent.
And one more quick question. Does Microsoft plan to buy Jamf?
So if you were in the last session, or if you weren't in the session DEP40, I think it was, earlier today, stream it. We have added a lot of the Jamf features, like more than 80% of the features from Jamf are now native in Intune. So I don't know if that's one of them. But so stream, watch DEP40, DEP40, because we'll get into that Jamf integration. But no, as far as I know, there's no intent to buy them, but we've integrated their features.
Okay, thank you.
Microsoft is committed to its Jamf partnership.
All right, next up, and then we're going to go down to the end. I think you have a question standing over there. Sorry, I can't see the mic very well. All right.
My name is Brian Gritton. I work for Valcom. My question is about Autopilot. So I was glad to hear that the ability to connect to a VPN is coming for the on-premise domain join. One of the things we had considered to try to overcome that problem in the meantime was to deploy an always-on VPN with RRAS. My question is, would it work, and would you recommend we wait until the proper release of the VPN connectivity in Q1?
So peer-to-peer will not work on your VPN, all VPN, or you probably wouldn't want it to be used on your all VPN, because at that point there's no easy way to distinguish which devices are connecting remotely versus ones that are on-premise. And usually what we see with all VPN implementations is there's also device isolation, so devices can't even find each other while on VPN. So for that, we have the Microsoft Connected Cache solution. So you can install it on a distribution point if you have that.
Well, my question was more about the connectivity to the domain controller to do the
Oh.
on-premise domain join.
Sorry.
So Autopilot, always on VPN. Our intention is to support really any VPN client that can make a connection either automatically or manually from the logon screen in Windows. Always on VPN should work. In fact, I've talked to an MVP that we've been working with to test this, and they've done it already. However, it requires configuring a machine-level always-on VPN connection that you can't actually do through Intune, so they had to do some interesting things to make that happen. That's probably slightly lower on our list as far as supporting VPN stuff. We'd rather support the more popular VPN clients, so we'll probably work on those first, but as we get more confidence in the VPN solution, we'll expand out to others as well.
Great, thank you.
All right. Here you go. Coming at you. Right on. Okay, sir, then we'll go to you and you. Sound good? All right, go ahead.
Ben from Transparency. I work with a lot of customers who love Autopilot as a product, but are still very much in the stages doing SCCM custom task sequences. One of the issues and the main reasons why they do SCCM task sequences is to strip out things like Candy Crush Saga and Minecraft from enterprise editions of Windows.
Michael, do you also like to thank you for this question? Because he was worried he was going to go through the entire thing if I could ask this question.
Did I mention how much I hate Candy Crush?
Is there plans to change that? I know Minecraft is obviously good in the education sector, but it still comes up in the education sector that they don't want the kids playing games on the computers during lessons. So is there any plans to kind of remove that by default in the enterprise and education versions of Windows 10?
I used to have this down to a 60-second response, and I'm getting rusty since I moved on to Autopilot and away from that stuff. But simple answer, Candy Crush is never pre-installed in Windows. The inbox apps are sometimes inappropriate, but it doesn't include any games. So the typical apps inbox that people complain about are the Xbox app or things like that that they don't want in there. We are working on a variety of changes related to that. One is making it easier to remove them. We'll have policies in Intune to strip them back out, just like we have in Intune for Education already. We also are looking at mechanisms in the next version of Windows to make them stubs, basically. So the apps themselves wouldn't be there. There would just be placeholder icons. So if you never launch them, they never update themselves. It's a whole lot of extra network traffic today uploading an app that you never use, so why update it? So the stubs may still be problematic. You might have a stub for Xbox. So that's the inbox stuff. In addition to the inbox stuff, there are apps that install based on the SKU of Windows. So it'll go out to the Windows Store, it'll download things and install them on the fly. Candy Crush will install on a device that is running Windows 10 Home or Windows 10 Pro and not joined to Azure AD, Active Directory, or enrolled in a management tool like Intune. So if you're seeing Candy Crush, you're probably using a workgroup machine with a Microsoft account or something like that. We never deliver entertainment software games to what we consider to be business PCs. Those business PCs would be Active Directory joined, Azure Active Directory joined, or MDM enrolled. For a device running the enterprise SKU or the education SKU, we've even reduced the number of apps that we install on those. The start menu layout on Windows 10 1903 has placeholder tiles for, I think, 3 items. So we'll never install more than 3 items on those. In fact, I think we might have stripped it down to 0 items now on those SKUs. So you won't see those apps nearly as much as you used to because we keep reducing that start menu layout down to the bare minimum that you would want on those devices.
Can I
So,
piggyback on that?
I
You have to get in line.
Yeah, get a line.
yeah, so I'm sure he was going to ask about Xbox app and probably raise the question of how is that possibly related to business use? And it's not, but right now the list of apps is consistent on every single SKU of Windows. our build process doesn't have the ability to actually modify the apps per SKU. We do have a team looking at that, sitting in the front row down here. So it is possible to do. So hopefully in the future, we'll be able to differentiate more and remove more of those inbox apps.
All right, I'm out of cats, so I'm going to throw you a duct tape roll. No, I'm just kidding. My apologies, we ran out. We'll go here, here, and to the back, and then I'll come over and get you, okay? Sir, go ahead and ask your question.
Hello, Sjoerd Derks from the Netherlands. I work for a lot of schools with Intune full cloud. And we're missing one particular thing, and that's printing. Do there become options to deploy printers besides the PowerShell or the hybrid cloud print that's available now?
Yeah, just out of curiosity, how many of you have tried the hybrid cloud printing solution that we released? How many of you liked it? I won't even put my hands up for that one. That one felt like an intern research project. But they are working on a new cloud printing solution that hopefully will provide additional capabilities. There were some roundtable discussions around that here this week. I don't know if there was a breakout, but certainly we hope to be able to do more than that.
Okay, thank you.
All right.
Wait, hold on.
Yeah.
Oh, it's okay. I was just going to say, this is a big one that we hear all the time. And I was at the round tables, and I almost tried to just sit with whoever the team is at the round table and grill them about printing, because we understand that it's a big blocker for Azure AD adoption all up. So we're looking at it.
Thank you.
Thanks, Dean. Go ahead.
Hi, Noor Al-Hemyari from IRAX. I have a question regarding Office 365 updates optimization with Autopilot machines. I know recently there was a registry key that we can add up front in the process to make sure that Office will start downloading from peers in the network. Is there a chance that we can use the same mechanism for those who are already deployed, at least in the future maybe?
So for those that are deployed and then download updates?
Correct. So we already have 200 machines in Autopilot that go to Microsoft to get the updates. They are remote offices with very limited internet connection. We'd love to utilize the same mechanism that we use for Windows updates with peer-to-peer in the same office for Microsoft Office 365.
So that's easy. It's already supported. For the updates, you can certainly, if you're pulling those from the cloud, right? So if you're CDN, pulling the updates from the CDN, you're already leveraging delivery optimization, and you can further optimize it that way. Office is now also supporting for the initial installs using delivery optimization, although it's in private preview, so it requires a reg key. But yeah, both of these scenarios are currently supported.
So both Windows and Office are doing peer-to-peer in the same network?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Great. Let's go to the back.
My question actually follows on from that quite nicely. So delivery optimization in network cache sounds fantastic. Thank you for delivering that. What would be really great is if that could do some WAN optimization for our SharePoint Online traffic, our Exchange Online traffic, all of that stuff that basically accounts for the bulk of my workday network traffic.
So the focus of the content that delivery optimization supports today is anything that comes from the cloud into your network. That is the bigger payloads. Anything that's potentially user-generated, like SharePoint, is not something that we support currently.
But it seems like you've got the data, so you could generate the hash for it and then publish it, like if we were using branch cache on-premise with deduplication in Windows File Server?
So the major difference between branch cache and delivery optimization is that the whole publishing is already done on the back-end services. So only content that's curated through Microsoft today is getting published, the hash is getting generated, and by the time we start to download, it's already there. So that's certainly the requirement today, but definitely thinking about expanding support for any large content that you care about in the future.
Okay, thank you.
Great. Thank you for your patience. Go ahead.
Hi, I'm Stoyan from VMware, and I have two questions for you.
One is regarding out of the box. The other one is for Hello for Business, pretty much. So during the out of the box, you do have like a cloud CSP which you can set, and then it requires that you set up pretty much PIN or whatever it is post the out of the box. However, what also happens is it onboards users to your two-factor authentication. And there is absolutely no way to not require that. Now, where the problem is, if you already have like modern enterprise like we are, shameless plug, you already have your MFA in place. So that second MFA is something you don't want. And the best part, you can't remove it. So this is very difficult PowerShell procedure to go detect those users and flush them out for them. Do you have any plans around that?
Anyone want to tackle that one?
I think our companies just need to talk and work it out. I think there's a very specific scenario for you and for your product, and it's not a general question, and I know we talk already, so let's bring that up in our company conversations.
Okay, so that was the one. The other one is also around the Hello for Business key credential link, pretty much sync up. AD Connect, as of today, do not support high availability, nor your AD team has any plans to introduce that. So what are you guys actually planning to any syncs in the future? Because the way AD Connect stands today is not a, how can I say, prime-time HA solution.
Sure, it's a great question. I don't think we have an expert from AD here today, right? No, so we're just not qualified to answer that question. I think hopefully you can ask that in any of our Microsoft user voices or whatever. It makes sense to me. You want high availability. No one here on the stage can commit that we're going to build it.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, we're going to go here, 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 and to the back. Okay, you're up.
David G. Smith Group. What's the future plans for the cloud management gateway with SCCM, and if it's going to stick around, is it going to get migrated from Azure Classic Compute to ARM?
Is this a CSP question?
No.
Cloud service provider question?
No.
Then why do you care if it's classic or not?
So I'm talking about the cloud management gateway.
I understand. CMG right now is built on the classic Azure technology.
Right.
The technology that CMG uses doesn't work in not classic as Azure is today. We need changes to Azure before it could. I would love to have CMG work on the more modern Azure stack. It can't yet. The reason it's a blocker for most customers is because of cloud service provider business requirements, and many of them can't configure that for customers and charge them. Outside of that, I haven't heard of a negative customer implication of the current implementation.
Okay. So is it something that Microsoft is continuing to invest in as a sort of...
Positively. It's not going away.
Okay. Thanks.
Sir.
Hi there. My name is Stefan. I'm from VMware too. So I have two questions for you. One of them is there any plans to expose the APIs for the Autopilot? What I mean is that you can use Autopilot without Intune, but there are still specific set of things that you can automate, and they're only in Intune and they're not exposed to anybody. So is there any plans to do that?
Two parts to that. Everything is fully documented and supported with every MDM provider. It is. You can ask us for the details. We'll provide them to you.
We had a Premier case and they said no.
Don't ask through Premier. Talk to us.
Okay.
We have our... I mean, honestly, a Premier support person is not going to talk to the product teams unless they... yeah, that's a whole different conversation. We have provided that information. We actually have an agreement in place with VMware to provide access through the Intune APIs to use the Autopilot stuff. So we've been in regular contact. All it takes for any of the MDM ISVs to implement full support for Autopilot is to do the work. We published all the details.
So because of how closely VMware and Microsoft are trying to work here, if there's any more VMware engineers in line, why don't we just come up stage and we'll give you the contact in VMware that we work with that has this information.
Yes, please.
Yeah, so come up after.
Okay, and the second question is about Endpoint Manager. Because I attend the sessions, it seems that it has new things, some things that overlap with SCCM and Intune as well. So is this a product that will sit on top or will replace?
Yeah, come up after.
Thanks.
Right. We'll go here and to the back, and then I'll come up and get your question.
My question is about stickers and the size and color you like and what you like to put your stickers on, and I would like a detailed response from everyone on the panel. Thank you. I'm just kidding.
Zach says this is a question
I was
you can
like
answer.
prepared to grab my laptop.
Yeah, I'll totally take this one.
I'm
So,
just kidding.
Particularly big fan of, no, I'm just kidding, go ahead.
My question's about manufacturer-installed bloatware. What I'm having to do right now is install a vanilla version of Windows on my devices after I've received them from HP. And I'm not going to put out a machine with any of that HP security advisor or print manager or any of that stuff. I'm wondering if there's going to be anything in Autopilot that will remove that for me.
Get a Surface.
We've talked about it. Yeah, get a Surface.
I wish.
We've talked about it, but the problem that we have with removing it is that it takes too long. I mean, who wants to sit and wait for a device to reset for 40 minutes to get rid of the bloatware? I mean, it's better than leaving it there, but it still takes way too long. Who in the room's from HP, by chance? Anyone in the room from HP?
So
right.
the answer is it's just quicker to install a vanilla version of Windows than
No, it's not. It's quicker to ask HP to ship you a device that doesn't have that. HP has that available as an option. I talked about it in my Autopilot session on Tuesday, so you can go back and check the video for that one. For 1 penny, they will provide you a device with a clean image with none of that extra stuff preloaded on it.
We do get those, so that's correct.
Yep. Apparently, he's confirming what I just stated. 1 penny, you can ask HP to preload a clean image on the device. Dell makes that available as a slightly more expensive option. Surface and Lenovo do that by default for free. All of that was covered in the Tuesday session.
Thank you. My concern was more of kind of an emergency thing where it's not something I have in stock. More of a kind of an emergency response to someone, one of my users out of town or something like that. But thank you.
Yep.
To the back.
Yep. The question is about the Windows servicing. We're kind of stuck with Cisco NAM on the computer, so we're stuck using test sequence for pre and post action on Windows servicing. Is there any plan to include something like that?
Yes.
Soon or late?
Soon. How soon is soon? Now. No, not now. It's got confused. We definitely hear this a lot. There's a bunch of reasons that folks want kind of pre and post tasks. We have inbox custom actions that we support now that you have to do a little dancing to make work, but they can do a lot of, there's kind of a really solid pre, post, and kind of in between different steps of setup. You can inject command lines. Now, that's one approach. We're also looking to build into Config Manager kind of orchestration around those. That can help, hopefully will help a lot more customers use the servicing flow, which we think can provide a much better experience for your end users than task sequences can. The unified update platform will also help with that a lot. Shameless plug, UUP, it's coming really soon. We're really excited about it.
And you have partners that can help with that now.
Cool.
Yeah, I just want to add, Dune and I talk about this pretty regularly. So first of all, if you want to learn more about some of the custom actions, see me afterwards and I can talk with you about what's available and also like to get some of your thoughts on what Dune and I are talking about for the future. As he said, servicing flow is directionally where we want to go, but we want to make it really easy to consume and extend where you need to.
Yeah, and it need to be extended, especially when you have more than one keyboard. It just messed around all the time.
Oh,
Thanks. That's another.
Yeah, UUP. We're going to do one more UUP plug. So Unified Update Platform, one of the main reasons that we are doing it, one of the key benefits is, well, basically it's a different way of packaging up your updates, right? And it's the way that updates are packaged for consumer and for Windows Update for business devices. And so we're trying to bring this to you in the enterprise. You hopefully have heard a little bit about this so far, but one of the key benefits is that keyboards, features on demand, language packs, and all these can be preserved across a feature update. So we're totally, that's been the top issue for a really long time. It is the top priority on the team that I work with every day on software updates and config manager.
Yeah. In fact, we covered this in Suma's breakout earlier in the week with a UUP demo, and so take a look at that if you have any questions.
Okay, we're gonna go here, here, and I see you down there. I haven't forgotten you, so bear with us. Sir?
Hi there, Pascal Pageshop. I would like to ask, we want to use Intune in an education environment, and we got the task that the teachers are able to manage and control the iPads of the students. And for that, we would like to use Intune with Apple Classroom, and Apple Classroom isn't supported anymore for like a year, a little bit more. And I would like to know the reason why Intune doesn't support Apple Classroom anymore.
Come see us, or come see us after, and then we'll tell you a good time to go to the booth and talk to the right person who's going to be able to answer that. I don't think there's any experts on iOS management on the stage here, unfortunately.
Okay, thank you.
Sorry.
No worries.
Sir.
Hey, this is James from King County. I think you guys pay our bills.
Hey, all right.
Config man, we have patch management and power management. We have maintenance windows, and when those maintenance windows are there, I think Suma had a demonstration, but we noticed updates that were happening, but it was still kind of being waiting. At 6 a.m. when people go to work, it's spinning wheel. Oh, we call it spinning wheel of death, or spinning cycles. It just waits and waits. Can we have all the feature updates, all the security updates, to have it just finish all its stuff during a maintenance window and reboot if it needs to, and by work day, by our work hours, it will actually just work?
So it's tricky. Maintenance windows, we will make decisions about whether to try and finish operations within, or whether we think we can finish an operation inside a maintenance window, and then that'll govern whether or not we'll try and do it. And we should be able to apply everything inside the maintenance window. If we are not, then we should talk about what could be happening. Is it config manager maintenance windows, or the inbox maintenance windows?
Config man.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, based on collections, based on each department, and then yeah, go for it.
Are these client machines or server machines?
Client.
Client, and you use maintenance windows on client machines because you're trying not to impact the end user?
Yep.
Okay. And those maintenance windows are really static?
Relatively static. Each department, so King County, we have certain groups of departments have certain windows, 3 hours each. Group ABC, you get a total of 9 hours of sleep, or 9 hours of maintenance.
Sure. Have you seen our feature that we've talked about that's in preview called orchestration groups?
Not yet.
Because this is a drastic improvement over maintenance windows. It gives you full control instead of having one static set of scheduling for patch, and allows you on demand to patch or pause, and you can see how it's going through. We build it for servers, but it works for clients also.
Is that Config Man 1906?
Was that my Diet Pepsi? What's that?
Config
yeah,
Man
Config Man. I know, that's why I tried to get Zach to open it for me.
1910, we hope. Well, when is it? He said it's at 1906.
Yeah, we're on 1906.
So it's in preview now. It's in preview in type preview 19.6. I think the full feature set will be there in Config Man 2002.
So if there's a maintenance window, a patch window, and then we have Intune co-management or endpoint manager, who wins with all those different maintenance windows going on?
Well, the way it works is different configuration or deployments, you do adhere to different maintenance windows. There's not a winner or not. So in Config Man, there's a patch type maintenance window. There's also, I believe, a settings or apps. And so for what we're talking about, if Config Man is doing the patching, then it's going to adhere to the Config Man patching maintenance window.
Will it ever conflict? Because there's a heck of a lot of settings at Endpoint Manager now, and
so no, it shouldn't conflict. Anytime there's a conflict, then we should have a co-management workload slider for you to pick which one is the authority. And we won't necessarily have a slider every time, because sometimes there is no conflict. It's something that doesn't exist in one tool or the other. But when there is, we should have a slider for you to be able to decide which one should win.
Cool.
Thank you.
Don't be intimidated. Like the stuff that we're adding in the new Endpoint Manager Admin Center is, and the stuff that we've announced. I mean, there's a whole bunch of new features that we've been working on for a while that are Intune features, but the stuff that we've added around Config Manager is typically new interfaces for existing functionality that you know and love today, and that's backed up by Config Manager infrastructure, right? It's not necessarily, I don't want you to be intimidated by the new stuff, is what I'm saying.
Can I follow up on that? Can we export any of those MEM settings or Intune settings? Because sometimes there's like a boatload of stuff.
Yes.
You can, okay, awesome.
Great.
Graph on the Intune side, ConfigMan has an API. It has an old API. It also has a new API called Admin Service. Admin API.
Great. Thank you. Thank you for being so patient.
No problem. So hopefully two really quick. The first one is regarding the question that was asked at this position earlier about the kind of the unwanted software. One of the things that I've noticed is the default install for these clean images that Michael recommended, all of them are Pro, unless you work specifically to request enterprise. So we're all ordering Pro clean images, and Pro comes with the crap that we don't want. So unless you prearrange from the OEMs to remove the software, that's how it's getting on there. So then we flip it to enterprise and the stuff's still there. That's kind of our experience.
Yeah, I think that's a misunderstanding. The Pro machine doesn't ship with anything more than what an enterprise machine would ship with.
The
inbox apps are exactly the same on every SKU of Windows.
Yeah.
So everything that shows up on the device that you, well, I mean, you could dislike Xbox.
Right? Yeah.
But everything else that you see on top of that is tied to the apps that are installing when the user signs on to the device.
Comes online, right.
There is a policy to turn that off. That policy only exists on enterprise. So the key is to make sure that that policy gets applied to the machine during the device setup phase.
Right.
So targeting that to the device so that the policy is in place, the user signs on, it steps up to enterprise, and then that stuff doesn't show up.
Okay.
It's also possible to modify the start menu layout that you're using on the device so that that stuff just doesn't have a placeholder tile, and if it doesn't have one, then it doesn't install.
Which is what we wound up doing. And again, we've been using Windows 10 since before Autopilot, so we were using a light touch provisioning that was recommended in 2015 when Windows 10 was announced. So we're in that transition process. But that was what our experience was, is if we didn't catch it soon enough, it got on there even during our light touch process and flipping was one of the last things because flipping required the restart. So we wanted to get all the stuff done before we restarted to then hand it to the user. That's kind of what we found. So
yeah, and that's the importance of getting the device into the right state. So
correct.
Getting it joined to Active Directory, getting it joined to Azure AD, getting it enrolled in MDM, so that the right requirements apply. The OEMs, it's not that they don't want to ship enterprise, they can't ship enterprise. Right. They can only ship a device with Windows 10 Home or Pro. So they're shipping the device with what they have, and then that gets transformed when the Azure AD user signs in. You can force it to transform yourself via Intune if you would like. You can push out a product key via an Intune policy to force it to enterprise. A lot of customers will push out a setup key that can't be activated. The SKU will change to enterprise, but it won't activate. And then the user signs in. When the user signs in, the OS will activate and the subscription will activate using Windows 10 subscription activation.
Okay, so the second one is hopefully just a yes or no. And this is just, I haven't done a lot of research. I came new into the organization I'm with now. That organization has a massive issue with patching servers, which is new to my world. Is there a MEM cloud option for server patching? In other words, can Intune patch servers today? I just haven't done the research yet.
There's this really cool thing called Microsoft Azure Update Management, and you should check it out. It is, I believe, still free until we find a way to make you pay for it.
So I'm M365E3. Would that be included even if it does go to a charge?
It is, unless I am mistaken, it has 0 license requirements, which means that technically it is not a part of that, but it also doesn't require, unless there's somebody behind me who says that I'm wrong.
Okay, thank you.
No, but let me elaborate. Lots of customers use Config Manager to manage servers today. We know this. It's a minority, a small minority of clients that we manage, but we also, fundamentally, Endpoint Manager and still Config Manager are focused on scenarios. They're really mostly focused on client scenarios.
Right.
Desktop, not necessarily desktop scenarios, but user like
client devices versus server devices, right?
in terms of the features that we build. Dave's, I can hear him squirming behind me. But I mean, when we get asks for specific features that are beyond a certain level of what makes sense for Endpoint Manager to build for servers, then we look to our partners internal partners on Azure Updates Management to make sure they do those. Where they're doing things like tracking specific processes to make sure that those come back up so that you can patch your your web apps or things like that. Not necessarily stuff that would make sense for us to build, unless David disagrees behind me.
Yeah, I'm going to take the mic.
Okay, cool.
I just want to clarify what Dune says. If you use config-man to manage servers, you shouldn't be afraid. It sounded like Dune said, we don't listen to feedback on that and we don't fix that. We do. In fact, we have 3 big features coming. One was the orchestration groups feature I talked about. One is what was demoed earlier this week was integration with Azure Arc. So there's still 15 million servers that are managed using config-man, and that's not going away anytime soon or being at risk. We do partner with other teams like Azure and Azure Arc to build future scenarios, because really, if you think about Microsoft, this is where we're pivoting. Is instead of being product focused and product siloed, we're being scenario focused, and so we're looking at ways to bring you solutions to your scenarios across all the products you have, right? And if you're using config-man today, we'll look at that as one of the possibilities to bring you new functionality.
We're not big enough to justify 4 different products to do something that one could do, which is what I'm looking at.
Yeah, understood.
Thank you.
Thank you. We'll go to you, and then you've been patient, I appreciate it, and then we'll get to you, okay?
Okay, Ryan from State of North Dakota. We're using config-man to handle our updates currently, and we also use a policy to disable dual scan. Well, we've noticed with the newer versions of Windows, if you want to install certain features, it goes out to the internet, and they fail because it's blocked because dual scan's disabled. Are there any plans with Intune or group policy to add a feature to allow features to, when they install, to connect up to the internet instead of going to your WSUS server?
So which features are you, there's a few different scenarios that you could be referring to when you say, are you
for
talking
example, RSAT tools.
Yeah, okay, so features on demand. Yeah.
Yep.
So, okay, a couple things here. First of all, dual scan, Config Manager will actually disable dual scan for you unless one of 2 conditions is met, unless you move the co-management workload for software updates over to Intune for a device, or target one of our inbox Windows Update for Business policies. If you do either of those things, then we will turn dual scan on. Otherwise, on every endpoint that has a Config Manager client installed and registered on it, we will disable dual scan, so you don't need that registry key. Second of all, I think that you might be using a different, there's a policy that we haven't, because that dual scan one should not break the scenario that you're describing. There's one that says do not allow any connectivity to the
Windows Update for
Windows Update.
updates, yes.
Is that the one you're referring to?
I believe so.
Yeah, so that one will bust feature on demand acquisition. There's another one that says allow Windows to acquire optional features directly from Windows Update that you have to set. And if you allow connectivity to Windows Update and you allow optional features to go right to Windows Update, then you can get them from the internet in that scenario, and it's fully supported. So I would say don't worry about disabling dual scan because it's already disabled, and then try that scenario out again. And then, and then hit us up on Twitter if we're wrong.
Okay, will do. Thank you.
Great. And also UUP fixes it. That's, I mean, we're going to say that for every question, but it is also true.
All right, next question.
2 questions. First question, Kirk Cisak from Sprint. We issue a lot of certificates at the time a device is imaged, through our legacy processes. And the certificate delivery mechanisms through Endpoint Manager rely on kind of what I would consider outdated Microsoft certificate services. Are there any plans to update or modify, modernize certificate delivery in a cloud-based environment?
I don't know. What's wrong with setting up Azure Active Directory certificate services, NDES and SCEP and Azure App Proxy and...
I didn't want to say anything.
It's easy. It only requires about 50 pages worth of documentation to set up.
And I think you need like one server for each certificate template that you want to deliver, the way it's configured in SCEP. It's not simple.
I can understand why you say that. I just don't know if that's 100% true.
I don't know if it is, but
there is some wackiness as part of the instructions where you had to put a certificate template name in the registry.
Exactly.
Gotta love instructions for a feature that say open regedit, go to this location and change this value. So yeah, we understand. We've talked about what should we do to provide more of a certificates as a service.
Yes.
So it's on the roadmap.
Cool, because it's important. Second question is, now that System Center Config Manager has been rebranded to Microsoft Endpoint Manager, what is the future of System Center? Because there's some really cool products in there that I haven't heard anyone talk about.
So this is a question of the other 7 products in System Center, not Config Man, and what's going to happen with them.
Right.
The scenarios are being invested in. They're owned by the team that exists in Azure, so they're thinking holistically about the scenarios across all their products, whether it's Azure and System Center, and there'll be news coming.
Great, thank you.
Great. So we'll go to you and then to you down here. Go
Okay,
ahead.
my name is Jon Rink from Fiducia GRD, Germany, and I have one statement, one question. Statement is, thank you very much for giving us folder rights in SCCM just before the name is gone. And my question is, are those rights inherited to subfolders?
Inheritance? No, they're not. Yeah.
That was,
Sorry, not yet.
I expected this answer. And
Yeah, I know.
Do you plan it? Because we have extensive use of
You
folders.
you had one statement and one question that you knew the answer to. No. But no.
Okay, thank you.
No. I'm just teasing you. I'm sorry, sir. No. We do want to build it. We absolutely do want to build it. So we've heard it. I've heard it already once at the conference, and it needs to be on our roadmap for that. So thank you.
We're not going to build inheritance for folders.
Oh, really? Okay.
No, we're not going to build it. It would kill performance in the console. Like the reason we added RBAC for folders is because very specific scenarios that people in multi-admin scenarios needed to segregate the folders of which their different admins operated in. Once you go to inheritance for a folder model, then if you have 7 folders deep, you have to check every object 7 times, and the console would be super slow.
Okay. Next question.
Hi, my name is Taryn. I got 2 questions. One is our own servicing. So we use device driver restrictions. Is there a way we can suppress that during the upgrade? Because when it comes back up, the drivers are reloaded and they all get blocked and get a nice blue screen.
So, all right, someone's coming from the audience to answer this.
Suda.
So we normally don't recommend pre-installing the drivers into the image that you're going to use for upgrade. That's what's considered as a customized image, and we don't support upgrades on customized image. But setup has a command line switch /install drivers where you can point to the updated drivers. That way the updated drivers will be loaded into the upgraded image before you boot into it, and so you will not hit the blue screen issue.
No, I'm not talking about like loading drivers. It's the GPO that blocks drivers from installing. So during the task sequence, all of that's blocked. All the drivers go in from the packages, right?
Okay.
So when you do a servicing update, those drivers are reloaded, the same drivers inside the machine at that time.
Is it during a feature update or a quality update?
Feature update.
And the same drivers are loaded on the other side, but it's
right, so
blocked.
when it comes back up, the packages, they reload all the drivers that's already in the system.
Yes.
And they get blocked due to the GPO that's there.
Okay. Let's sync up offline. I want to understand your scenario more, and maybe you'll have a better solution on that.
Okay. And the second question is the built-in apps, right? Is there a documentation somewhere that shows the connection between all the apps? So like I have a small list of apps that I remove, and the calendar app wasn't one of them, and it disappeared when I removed those.
The calendar app is an interesting one because it's basically the same as the mail app. So if you remove the Windows communication app, you remove both. So it's not so much a connection, it's that you have one app that has multiple icons.
Oh, I see. Is that somewhere I can get that information so I know what to remove and what not to remove and how it affects the system? Because I believe it's something with the Xbox app as well, where they say there's one you can remove and one you don't touch because it'll break something else.
Yeah, there is a doc page on docs.microsoft.com if you look for the inbox apps that talks about the dependencies between them, which apps are removable and which ones aren't, which is different by version of Windows. Each one they try to remove the restrictions so that you can remove anything you want. There are also a few dependencies between the apps, so you won't be able to remove one app until you've removed the one that is dependent on it. So there are some rules like that. The doc page covers most of that, as far as I can tell, because we just pointed all of that information to the Intune developers who were trying to build a UI for making it easier to remove all those apps. So they're figuring all that out right now.
Okay, thanks.
All right. Sir, then we'll go to you.
I have two questions. The first one is, will MDT still be supported going forward?
Is MDT going to still be supported? It's supported now. So yeah, I mean, the general statement from Rob York, the PM, is that it will be updated as required to support new versions of Windows and new versions of the ADK. No plans to add any features, but then again, it's kind of a blank slate with task sequences to do whatever you want. So there's not really a great need for new features, just continued support for new OSs.
Cool.
And your second question?
Yes. Currently, my organization doesn't use ConfigMan or Intune. Knowing what you know going forward, would it be more worth it to invest money in Intune or Config Manager licensing?
If it's a licensing question, the good news is they're the same license. You should buy Microsoft 365 E3, and that gives you both.
Thank you.
Great. Next question.
Hi, I've got two hopefully simple questions. So first off, is there any plan for the Intune management extension, the sidecar, to be available for MDM only enrolled devices, so devices that do not have an Azure AD join? And second, is there any plan in the Intune console to enable the ability to bring back logs from remote systems, so I don't have to, when I have a Premier ticket, I don't have to call an end user, schedule a time with the Premier tech to collect logs and such from the device?
I think there's no one here that claims knowledge of that first item, but the second item, yes. Built into Windows 10, I think 1903 and above, there is a diagnostics CSP that can be used by Intune to run a command against the machine and grab the output from that. So we've done some blogs on it already showing how you could do that with custom OMA URIs. So you send out an XML file to the machine to say, run this command, grab these logs, upload them to this location. So the next step is to build that into the Intune troubleshooting node to do exactly that. We want to do that for Autopilot. The Intune management extensions already supports that for Win32 apps using its own mechanism, but we'll continue to expand that to support more scenarios using that inbox CSP.
Yeah, so the first one is we're working on it.
Next question.
Thank you. So I have two questions. The first one around surfacing stack updates and the LCUs, the cumulative updates. Just the expectation, when we get those, we have a WSS environment. So you get one for each, usually each month you get a servicing stack and an LCU. Is it the case that the SSU should always be detected first and applied? That's kind of the same behavior when you go to Microsoft Update too, right?
Yes. Let's see. Is this config man?
No, just WSS.
Oh, no config man?
No, no config.
Okay.
So yes, servicing stack always first. We had a talk on this week, and we have a blog out there. But in general, that always goes first, and we're looking to bundle these to make this much easier.
Okay. That was kind of a.
And sorry, solved with UEP also.
Oh, is that true?
I had to beat Dune to that.
Okay. And go ahead.
Yeah, this is kind of a weird one where We have always documented that you should install them first, and yet when we talk to the team that publishes them, at least and people might disagree with me here, so feel free to jump down my throat. I have heard that if they are really expecting there to be issues, that they will put a hard block in place, which they have done before. But they do not most of the time.
Yeah.
And so there's still anxiety around the world on this. And perhaps there does not need to be as much anxiety as there is. And so I'm trying to figure out, I do not know what the solution is, other than UUP, but Sue does fact checking me.
So ignore don't answer. Install servicing stack first, always, whether or not there's a hard block, because there are bug fixes that we put into the servicing stack update that help your else cumulative updates from being installed right. In some cases, if you have a bug in the servicing stack and you don't take the servicing stack update, the LCU might install, but it might be doing things bad under the hood, which would show up way down in the future.
Yeah.
So if there's a servicing stack update, always install that first, and then the LCU.
Well, it's kind of a challenge because, with WSUS, it just detects and says,
yes,
hey.
That is a problem that we are aware of, and UUP fixes it. So once it rolls out, you will not see two things. You will see one thing, and it will install the servicing stack first, and then the LCU in the right sequence. You will not have to do two things.
So that's coming with UUP?
Yes.
Yeah. And just, sorry, just a...
Just as I said, I had this question come up earlier. If you said the reason there's an SSU is because we have to do something there to address some other issue we know about, which do I do it? So the safe principle should be, not that's going to be always, I'm trying to cover for both of you now, so you can buy my drinks afterwards. Doesn't mean there's going to be a problem, but if there's going to be a problem, it's because the LCU got installed first. So as a general rule, just be safe. If you do the SSU first, the reason it's there is because there's something we're doing about it. We had to go do something first before we did this.
Yeah.
So it's just and by default, we always do that. We get you to UP or update by the web, and you don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, because we have like a pilot group that we test patches with, but what we've decided with the SSUs is just approve them to all devices, even the non-pilot. Does that make sense? I mean, because we think we want these to get out there as soon as possible before the LCU. And then real quick, we use a third-party software deployment. We don't use ConfigMan. So we're at a point, we service like 35,000 Win 10 devices. So we're just wondering, should we just go to Intune and not try to go to ConfigMan at all? It's called Radia. It's called Radia Endpoint Manager.
You should look, so you're going to have to migrate some investment, and you should look at which way is going to be cheapest for you to migrate. Once you get into SCCM or Intune, it's going to be easy to move back and forth between them.
Yeah, because I think we're licensed for both. We have E3 right now.
Yeah, you're licensed for both.
So, I mean, Brad Anderson saying, just go to Intune.
What's your big workload in Radia? Just app install?
Yeah, software.
Just go look to see if Intune has all the app install capabilities you need, and if so, just go there. If not, start at ConfigMan. We'll make it easy to move to Intune later.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Great. Last two questions.
All right, one more from King County. So we are trying to secure our workstations right now. We did the SecCon 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, 5. Well, then 5, nothing works at 5. Is ConfigMan going to have a baseline, or is there ConfigMan or Endpoint Manager going to have some baselines that we can apply, either SecCon 4, SecCon 5, or now it's we're app lockering, app guarding, and then we're Aaron lockering stuff. So what's the right?
Yes.
What's the right guidance?
We're starting, and you can see, I know we talked about it this week, we have these things called security baselines. We work with the ATP team at Microsoft, as John made reference to. I always like to say we do a good job sometimes at Microsoft of building the video game console and not the games, and you're asking for some games, right? You want content to go on our platforms. So we are starting the journey of being a content provider for a lot of our security configurations, as well as other configurations.
So will the SCCM console be integrated with that baseline, or just, because right now it's like local at Labs, right? Labs is its own thing and its own console, its own database.
It depends on how the content is authored. So we have a scenario, I don't think we've talked about this week, but it's coming soon, which you can see the content up in Intune, and for example, some of those will apply to servers, and servers aren't manageable by Intune, but they'll show up in our new UI up in Intune, and then you can apply those settings, and ConfigMan will deploy them to servers, and Intune we'll deploy them to the devices it has enrolled.
Awesome. And then a feature request for endpoint management. In ATP, we see the local admin of users. We don't allow local admin. Is there ability to say, back off, you have no local admin, we're removing your local admin now, just to square up and to make sure no one has local admin stuff?
I don't know. Sounds like a great request.
We'll table the last two questions if you can come to the stage afterward. We're now at time, but I want to thank everybody for joining us today, especially this being late on a Thursday. So thank you.